What's up, you guys? My name's Lucas and I'm here to talk to you guys about the Fender Player Series guitar. This is supposed to be a special run with the eggshell pink and the tortoise pickguard. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the specs for you guys. Some of you may be interested in this guitar and are comparing it to the Classic Vibe. I'm a person who used to own a Classic Vibe Stratocaster, the made in China, a 2010 one. And it's kind of hard not to compare this guitar with that guitar. There's always debates on which one is better than the other one. So I'm going to offer my insight about this towards the end of the video. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about what this guitar is, what it can do, and this, what it is. It's a Strat. So can't be too hard to talk about it. A lot of you guys know what a Strat is. This is as Strat as it can possibly get. You got your maple neck, you got a satin back, which is fantastic, and then you got the gloss in the front. Feels really good. It's not sticky in the fingers or anything like that some of you may be worried about. You got your synthetic bone nut, which holds tune pretty well. And you got the standard tuners up here, not the vintage ones. I know some of us, me personally, I love the vintage tuners. Some of us have a preference for that. But these tuners hold really well. I wouldn't be in a rush to replace them or anything. They do what they do and they do it really well. You got 22 frets, you got that extra fret here. Some of you who aren't used to playing our standard guitars, a lot of us Strat players like the vintage spec. Well, now you got the extra fret. So it's like a bonus being thrown at us. And then, of course, you got your three redesigned pickups. They used to be ceramic pickups on the standard Mexican guitars before the Player Series, and now these are Alnico pickups. I personally believe these come much closer to the Strat sound that I, at least, when I think of a Strat, that's usually what I think of, is whatever these pickups are doing, They're Alnico, they're a lot more clear, they're not as warm as the ceramic ones were, for lack of a better term. You got your 5-way switch, you got the obvious volume and two-tone, except for the last tone, it works with the bridge. And that's a major plus for some of us who play Strats, because sometimes most of these Stratocasters, they come with the bridge, not wired to any of these tone knobs, so you're stuck with just a bright, piercing sound. And while that may be great for some of us like to be able to have the versatility of adjusting the tone on the bridge pickup, especially when using overdrive. So that is a major plus for me and for some of you. And for those of you that know anything about these bridges, please feel free to chime in the comments. So you got your two, I think it's like two bolted bridge or something. You got the common one is usually the 6 screws in here, and this is supposed to hold tune a lot better when you use the vibrato arm. I actually don't have one, so I'm not going to be able to show you guys what that is, but from what I'm hearing, this holds tune a lot better, and so that's a major plus, right? You want your guitar to stay in tune if you were to use the vibrato and not for it to go out of tune. So major plus. So nothing but good things in this guitar. I'm going to talk about just maybe 2 things that I found that I did in particular like about this guitar. So first thing off the bat, I live in a humid area of the world, so I don't really have to deal with sharp fret edges. Ever, really. I haven't encountered a single guitar that I just could not play and had to put down because the sharp fret edges were just so bad. Where it seems to be a common theme in the more drier climates of the world. So this guitar, this isn't like that, but it does have a little bit of, I can actually feel the edges of the frets on the neck. If I were to just take my fingers and slide through like this. But when I'm playing the actual guitar, it's not something I even have to worry about or think about, for that matter. I don't even feel that it's there. It's just a non-issue for me. But I'm assuming for people who live in drier climates, might be a potential issue when the guitar does shrink, the wood shrinks and the frets stick out a little bit more. And another thing I would like to point out is that, along with this, is that when I tried out a bunch of guitars at the store of the Player Series, I noticed a lot of them had the same kind of problem. I'm not sure if this is something that is a quality control issue or if a lot of other people are encountering this issue as well. But it's just something worth noting. I would say please go try out your guitar before you consider buying it, because if it's something you have to worry about, then I would hate for it to be an issue for you. So please try them out. But for me, I mean, I don't ever have to worry about it, and I don't even notice it when I'm playing. It's only when I actually try to actually feel for it that I actually notice it. The other thing is that I don't know what it is about most of these guitars, Fenders, Squiers, and just recently ones that have been, I guess they're spraying the finish. It's almost like they leave a little bit of residue or unfinished residue at the top of the neck, at the headstock. Any of you who have recently purchased a guitar this year or maybe last year, have y'all been noticing this? Because I've been noticing this, and I don't know what it is. Of course, quality control issue that we have no control over. But I thought maybe I'm crazy, because I'm seeing it a lot. If you have seen it, please let me know in the comments. Make me feel a little less lonely in the world. But with that all being said, we can jump straight into the sounds now. I'm going to go ahead and go through the neck pickup all the way down to the bridge pickup. I'm going to show you a little bit of the tone knobs as well, how they work with the bridge pickup, of course. And I'll kick on an overdrive afterwards. I'm using the Earthquaker Devices Plumes. Fantastic overdrive. I did a video on that comparing it with the Tube Screamer. If you want to check that out, feel free to do so. And I'm going to play through my Fender Princeton Reverb 65 reissue. Great amp, and I'm going to have just a little bit of reverb on it so it won't be so dry and boring. Go ahead and start with the neck pickup now. There you have it, the basic sounds of the Fender Player Series. I did drop my pick there earlier, so I had to switch to using my fingers. I hope this was informative for you guys. I hope this is helping you make a decision on whether you want this guitar or not. Those of you who are going with the Classic Vibe or this guitar, I hope this helped you out too. Me personally, as a person who has owned a Classic Vibe guitar, I personally like the Player Series better. Even I'm talking about the made in China guitars, because it seems like in the forums and everything, the Classic Vibes now aren't as good as the ones that they released earlier in 2010, and the made in China factory, now the made in Indonesia, and they're just apparently not really up to par. The pickups are different, they don't sound as good, blah blah blah. Anyways, that one that I had, it was a good guitar, but it just wasn't really there. It felt like it was lacking to an extent. Of course, of course you want to modify a guitar eventually, and I felt like with the Classic Vibe, I kept doing modifications to it to try to get it to be what I wanted it to be, and it just wasn't really getting there, and in the process I just ended up making the guitar just not what it's supposed to be, and ended up selling that guitar. It did serve its purpose for the 5 years that I owned it, but the Player Series that I have now, I feel like it's such a better guitar in every way. It has, of course, the tone on the bridge pickup, and it has a better feeling neck. I don't really care about the tuners if it's not supposed to be vintage tuners or not. I like the vintage tuners, but I don't really care that these are just the regular standard tuners now. It just feels like an overall better quality made guitar that you wouldn't want to modify at all. Whereas the Classic Vibe, I did endless modifications to that guitar. So at the end of the day, everything is subjective. So please try out your guitars before you buy them. Try out a Classic Vibe and try out a Player Series. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like the Player Series better, just for the feel of it, if not the sound, but it just feels better to me. But I'm just going to leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.